get right into this video. To make this dream catcher, you're going to need an embroidery hoop. I found mine at Michael's, and you're also going to need some yarn. I actually got mine from the Dollar Tree. You just want to start off by hot gluing down a little dollop onto your embroidery hoop, and then take your yarn and just place it on top and press it down until it is hard. Next, you want to wrap your yarn all the way around the embroidery hoop until you get to the beginning. You've wrapped the yarn around the embroidery hoop full circle. You just want to set it in place by hot gluing it down. To make the inside design of your dream catcher, you're going to need some twine or some string, and I got mine from the Dollar Tree, and you just want to tie a knot at the top of your dream catcher and pull it tight. Now to do the dream catcher weaving, this is where it gets a little complicated, but just remember everything goes underneath. So you want to pull your string underneath your dream catcher embroidery hoop, then you want to take the string and wrap it around that hoop that you just made. Again, pull it under and just pull your string. So we're going to go over that one more time. You're going to take your actual string, put it underneath your dream catcher, then you're going to have like a little bit of a hole or a little bit of a hoop. Take the string, pull it through that hoop. Again, place it underneath and just pull until it's tight. You want to follow this pattern until you get to the starting point of where you started weaving. So again, just remember you go underneath, pull the string through, underneath and pull. Underneath, pull the string through, underneath and pull. Once you finish your first round of weaving, you're just going to continue this pattern all the way through, but instead of using the embroidery hoop, you're going to start pulling through the actual string patterns that you made previously. Now, you do not have to be so specific with this. No dream catcher is exactly the same, so you can skip a couple or do all of them. It does not matter. It will still look amazing when you are done. But just remember, pull under, pull through, pull under again. When you have finished weaving and you reach the center of your dream catcher, this next step is optional, but I added a bead in the middle because I thought it added a nice little touch, and then I'm just double knotting this in the middle to secure it into place. And the very last thing I did was decorate my dream catcher. I just tied some of that twine onto the bottom of my dream catcher, and then I added some beads that I got from the Dollar Tree, tied a knot on the very bottom, and then I used some feathers also that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I just hot glued them into the beads so that the beads wouldn't go anywhere, and I did this 5 times. I did a really long one in the middle, then a shorter ones on the side, and even shorter ones on the other side. Final thing I did was just cut that string off so that you could not see it when you hang it up. And this is what the final dream catcher looks like. I am so impressed with it. It definitely took a little bit of practice. I had to practice this a couple of times until I got the weaving just right, but it was really easy once I got used to the pattern. This was so cheap. I think it cost me about $5 to make. Most of the stuff I got at the Dollar Tree, and I just think it looks absolutely beautiful. I am so happy with it. For this marble teacup, you're going to need a teacup, and I found a porcelain teacup from the Dollar Tree. You want to start by taking some alcohol and rubbing it all around the teacup just to kind of take any of the smudges off or take any of that excess oil. Then you want to take a little bowl, fill it up with water, make sure it's a bowl that you don't really use that much, and then you want to take some nail polish. I'm using all shades of blue and purple, and you want to just start pouring the nail polish in. It'll make this really funky like pull apart design, and you just want to do this several times. I believe I did this like 7 or 8 times, and I just added blue, light blue, and purple. Take a pointy object, I am using a kebab stick, and you just want to kind of like move that around and make a funky little design in the middle. I'm trying to pull all of my nail polish into the center and then just wrapping it around and swirling it around the middle. Take your porcelain teacup and just push it right into the water, and you kind of want to move it around a little bit until it fully gets the design of the nail polish in the water. Place your teacup on a piece of wax paper and allow the nail polish to completely dry and harden. Once it has completely dried, you want to add a layer of dishwasher safe Mod Podge that you can find at Michael's. This is what the teacup looks like when the Mod Podge has completely dried. It is so pretty. I love the way the colors swirl together. I'm actually not even using this to drink out of. I'm just going to use this to decorate my office and put some pens in. But if you do decide to drink out of it, I would suggest hand washing this and hand washing it very gently. This next craft is so different, it's so abstract, and it's so pretty. All you're going to need are some cake pops, some hot glue, and some spray paint. I think this whole craft cost me about $7 to make. You want to start off by taking some of the cake pops and form them into the shape of a square. Then you just want to hot glue the edges of the square together so that they stay in place. I am doing this on some wax paper so I can easily pull it apart later. Then you want to just start by taking some hot glue again, hot glue over those edges, and take 2 more cake pops, hold them up, and you have to hold these in place until they completely dry, and then do the same thing on the other side. Then I just took another square that I pre-made. I just took some hot glued on top of those sticks that were standing up, and I just placed the square right on top until you make a cube. Comes the complicated part, and I'm not going to lie, this was very, very frustrating. It was very difficult to keep these in place, but you want to just hot glue opposite edges of the square and then take 2 of your cake pops and hold them together until they stand upright on their own. You want to do the same on the other side until you make somewhat of a pyramid. Just make sure you are holding these tight, because if not, they start to fall. And then you want to just take some hot glue the top until it is all in place. Hold it together until it is sticking on its own. Then you want to do this to all the other sides, leaving one of the sides of the cube completely bare so you can hang it up along your wall. And the final step is just to spray paint your structure using whatever color you'd like. I'm using this metallic gold, and I added about 2 layers of spray paint and I allowed it to dry in a well-ventilated area. And this is what your super cool psychedelic geometric structure looks like when it is complete. I think it came out amazing. I love the way it looks. Again, it was pretty frustrating to make, I am not going to lie to you, but it was well worth the hour that I spent on it because the end product is just so beautiful. I saw a similar product like this at Joann's and it was $50. So I saved myself $43 by just making it at home. I think this is really beautiful on the wall and it will be a really awesome conversation piece for anybody that comes into your house. To follow that complicated craft, we're now going to move on to a super simple craft. All you need to do is get some seashells. I just took mine from the beach. Then you want to take some paper towel, kind of shove it underneath the shell so it's sitting upright. Then you want to take a candle wick stick. I just found mine at Michael's. They were very inexpensive. And you want to hot glue them into the center of your seashell. Next, you want to take some melting candle wax cubes, and you can find these at Walmart for about $1 to $2 a piece, and you just want to melt this up in the microwave and pour it into the center of your seashell. Next, you want to secure that wick in place by wrapping it around an object. I'm just using a kebab stick, but you can use a pencil for this, or a pen, or anything that you have at your house. Once the candles have completely hardened, you just want to take a pair of scissors and cut the wick about 1/2 inch from the top. And that's really all there is to it for this DIY. I highly suggest getting some of those melting candle wax cubes in some fun seasonal summer scents such as Beachy Waves or Paradise. They have so many out there just to get the full effect. And I also suggest, if you're going to be melting these inside, to place them on a plate with some fun stones, just because your sea shells are on an angle, so there's a good chance that the wax will kind of drip out. And for the final craft of this video, we are going to be making a no-sew donut pillow. All you're going to need is about a yard of brown and pink fabric. You can get this at Joann's. And you're also going to need some felt pieces. I bought all of this again at Joann's. I used a coupon for it and it cost about $10, which I think was very reasonable. You want to start by taking your brown fabric, fold it in half, and cut a large circle so you end up with 2 circles. Then you want to take those circles, place them on top of each other, cut a slit in the middle, and then just start cutting a little mini circle out of the center. Now you want to glue those 2 circles together. I am using a no-sew fabric glue that I also got at Joann's. This was part of the $10 total. You just want to glue around the perimeter of that center circle and the outer circle, and make sure your fabric side is up. So when I was gluing, I had the fabric side up. I'm using fleece, so the fleece side was up. And then the next circle, I made sure that the fleece was down, so both of the fleece parts are touching each other in the middle. Finally, you just want to take your hand and kind of pat that glue down so you make sure it's nice and secure and in place, and then allow this to dry for at least 30 minutes. Once the glue has completely hardened, you just want to take a pair of scissors and cut a line into the center of the donut. And don't even worry about this line, you're not even going to be able to see it once you add the frosting. Then you just want to take your donut and just pull it inside out so that the fleece side is facing up now. Now it's time to stuff the pillow. I am stuffing mine using polyfill. I actually had some polyfill at home already, so I didn't have to buy it. But if you don't have any polyfill at home, you can just get this at Joann's. I believe it's about $6 for a ridiculously large bag. And the final step, once your pillow is completely stuffed, is to hot glue or to fabric glue the edges together and just glue those 2 pieces together so it makes one full donut. Now comes the fun part, decorating your donut. I'm just taking a piece of pink fleece fabric and I'm placing it on top, and then I'm just cutting it around until I get the shape of the frosting that I like. Then I'm taking that same fabric glue and I'm just gluing it down on top of my donut. Again, I am taking my hands and I'm kind of squeezing at it to make sure that the glue is in place. As this is hardening, I am just taking some felt. These were about 40 cents per sheet, and I'm just doing 5 different colors. I'm cutting strips of them and then cutting those strips into thirds, and these are going to act as my sprinkles. And the very final step of this DIY